Welcome back to Same Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. So in this class I'll be teaching you how to sew this drawstring kimono. So right here I made only one pocket. So this is what the back looks like. We have one part plain and one part Ankara. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn the tips and tricks of placing this together to have this effect. Thank you. We'll be needing 1.5 yards of Ankara and 1.5 yards of any plain fabric of your choice. Okay, so now we are going to lay the 1.5 yards of Ankara and the plain. So to do that, I'll first lay my Ankara 1.5 yards. So first of all, this is the 1.5 yards. I'll simply place my 1.5 yards on fold. So I'll lay it on fold and place it. I'll also do the same for the plain. I'll lay the 1.5 yards for the plain on fold, and I'll also place it. So I would like to place the plain below because I will be marking on the Ankara. I've already folded the 1.5 yards into two. Okay, so this is the open part of it. I placed it together with the open part of the plain, and we have the folded part of it here. Can you see? So now Ankara comes at length of 45, of course you know, so we are using the whole length of 45. So the first thing I'm going to do now, I'll rule my border line. So I just rule my border line. So this is my line. Just create a little line like this as your starting line. This edge, I'm going to, this is my center front and center back. I'm going to measure 1.5 inch because we are going to stitch them. We are going to stitch it together to form the ruched part of this drawstring kimono. So I'll just take 1.5 inch on the center front area. So I'll take it all the way to the hem at 1.5. So I'm going to stitch at 1.5. So from this line, that is where we'll be taking our measurement. From the starting line, I'll place my tape. We are going to take the measurement of the hip. That's the only thing we need here. We need our hip length measurement. So my hip length here is 29 inches. I'll add 1/2 inch to it. That is my hip length, and I will draw my line. So at this hip length, I'm going to take my measurement from this 1.5. From here to here is 1.5. So because we'll have a stitching at this 1.5. So from here, I'll just go ahead and take my measurement of my hip circumference divided by 4. So my hip circumference divided by 4 is 11.5. I'll mark. I will go in. I will add 3 inches for ease. You can add 2.5 inches, but I just want the dress big, so I'll add 3 inches and then add 1/2 inch for stitching. So I'm adding everything 3.5 after my hip circumference divided by 4. So I'll place my tape on the center front, center back, and measure every measurement I have. So here I have 15 inches. I'll go over to the hem. I'll also measure the same 15 inches. So I'm going to connect my 15 inches to the hip. Okay, my 15 inches should be measured from here. Please take note. It should be measured from that seam allowance. So I'll take it again from here. I'll measure my 15 inches. So this is it here. Now I'll connect the hem to the hip with a straight line. Can you see that? So after connecting the hem to the hip, the next thing we want to do, we'll come back to the shoulder line. And on the shoulder line, I'm going to measure our neck width. So the neck width is 3.5. I'll be using 3.5 as my neck width. This is it. And the neck depth for the back is going to be at 1.5. So I'll measure at 1 inch. Let us use 1 inch. So once you have gotten that, I'm going to connect the neck width and the neck depth for the back first at 1 inch. So I'll place my pattern ruler and connect, because we are going to cut out the back before the front. So after connecting that, I'm going to take the neck depth of the front. So the neck depth of the front is going to be at 7 inches. So this is my 7 inches, and it's going to be a V neck depth, neckline. So I'll connect that 7 inches to this. Okay, so we have created the neckline right now. Can you see that? For the back is 1 inch neck depth. You can see that. For the front is 7 inches neck depth. So I've connected the neckline for the back. So after creating the neckline, the next thing I'm going to take is the measurement of my shoulder divided by 2. So here I have 8 inches. Okay, so divide your shoulder by 2. Whatever you have, you mark. Then from here, I'm going to take the measurement of my sleeve. So my sleeve, I'm taking 10 inches as a whole. Okay, then I'm going to add 1 inch as my hemming allowance. So that is exactly what I did here. So from this line, I'll come down by 1 inch again for my shoulder drop. So I'm going to connect that 1 inch from that line to my shoulder drop. So at that 3.5 inches I made, I'm going to connect. So once I'm done connecting, I'm going to take the opening of my sleeve, the measurement of my opening of my sleeve. I'm going to take it at 10 inches. Then I'll add 1 inch for seaming allowance. That is 11 inches. So at this point of 11 inches, I'm going to extend this line. Okay, remember we connected our line from here. So I'll just go ahead and extend it to meet with the 11 inches. Then I'm going to draw this line too. Okay, from the shoulder drop, I will extend the hemming allowance to the 11 inches. And here I'm going to create the armhole. Okay, the kimono curve. All right, so I just added 1 inch here for my seam allowance. So that is all we need for this particular cutting. So I'll go ahead and cut right now. So I'm going to cut from the sleeve opening. I'll first cut from the sleeve. I'll cut up to the opening, and I'm going to follow the curve, this kimono curve down. I'll take it all the way down to the hem. Okay, so I'm cutting. Make sure you pin. Make sure you pin and pin, because we have another fabric here as well. All right, so after that, this is what we have on the side of this dress. And then here I'm going to cut now the shoulder drop. So for the shoulder drop, on top I'll be adding 1/2 inch on top for stitching the upper part of this dress. I'll add 1/2 inch. So once I get to my neckline, the back neckline, I'll cut the whole back neckline. I'm cutting everything to this point. Then you know we have this for back and we have that for front. So I'll pick up one of this, or I will use this one. Okay, let me just use what I have here on the chalk line. Just pick one because this other one I'm going to match it with what I have right here. We are going to stitch this and this together. So what I will do now is to secure, once you lift up here, secure this and this together. So make sure you place them right side to right side. So what I have here is right side to right side. I'll pin it together. Then I'm going to cut out what I have here. I'll cut out what I have here. I'll cut it out up to this point. But once I get to this point, please ensure you go this way. Okay? You go this way. Can you see that? So now I'll take off what I have here because that is all we need for this dress. It's actually a very simple dress anyway. So I'll take off this pattern, this one, and this is going to serve as the back. So I will go ahead and sew following the 1.5 inch line we made initially. Okay, so I'll take this one off. So once you separate this, I'll go back to the machine to stitch this at 1.5 inch. Don't forget to make your stitches at 1.5 for the back. Then this is what we have on for the front. So I'll still place this to trace out what I have here. So I'll just go here this way. All right, so this is what we have for the front. So we are going to create facing for this. To create the facing, just simply place your fabric on fold. Okay, so once you place it on fold, the next thing you will do is to lay the upper piece on top of it this way. Can you see that? So here I'll just make sure I have 1 inch, just 1 inch is okay. So at this 1 inch, I'll go ahead and secure with my pins. I'll secure with my pins this way. Then I'll go ahead and cut. So I'll just go ahead and cut. Okay, so here I'll just go in by 2 inches and stop. So once I do that, I'll take off the pins again and then I'll measure my facing. So I'll be taking the facing at 2 inches. So from here I want my facing at 2 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut 2 inches, or you can make it 2.5. So by the time we sew, we still have a good facing. So like that, I'll take it at 2.5 to the end. So this is what your facing will look like for the front. So I'll bring back the dress and place it right side to right side. So this one will match up this way. I'll go over to my machine, sew, top stitch, and this one, this is right side to right side, and this is right side of this dress. I'll place it this way too. So I'll sew now and turn the neckline. After sewing the facing, before I top stitch, please ensure you make your notch. You can see I stitched my facing this way once I got here 0.5. so you have to make a notch this way, or else it will be difficult for you to turn. So I'll also do the same right here. So place your notch diagonally. So now I'll go ahead and top stitch and finish up the hems. Alright, so we are done with the neckline for the front. So I've given it a good press, and this is what we have for both of them. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to create the pocket. So for the pockets, I'll use one to show you how you are going to create your pocket. Okay, whatever I do here, I'll do on the plain too. So for the pocket, you are going to take the measurement of your waistline. So my waistline is 17. I'll add 2 inches to it and half an inch. Okay, so that's how to determine your pocket. Your waist 1-2 inches, then half an inch for stitching. I'll mark. Then from this stitching line at the center front, I'm going to take the measurement of 3 inches. Okay, so from this 3 inches, my pocket width is going to be at 6 inches, or you can make it 5 inches. Okay, 6 inches is standard, so let's use the standard pocket width. So here is my pocket. The height of the pocket from this line of the pocket is going to be at 5 inches, because it's going to have some pockets. We are going to have some ruffles behind it. So I'll also measure that 3 inches once again. So once I'm stitching this pocket, I'm going to stitch on it on this line I made on this box. That's why I'm creating this line. So that's what I will do for the other one as well. So now we are going to cut out our pocket. So our pocket, I'm going to cut it out using 2 different fabrics. So but I will use the Ankara fabric to demonstrate to you how the pocket is going to look like. So for the pocket, simply come in with your fabric that you want to use for creating the pocket. Just go ahead and put it this way, unfold. So once you have put it on fold, so I'm cutting for only 1 pocket. Note that I will use the plain to cut the other pocket as well. So once you place it on the width of the pocket was 6 inches as we measured. So I'll just fold it to have a 3.5 inch on each side. So when I open it, I'll be having 7 inches because I need to tuck in the pocket. Then the height of our pocket, for this pocket, we are using 7 inches. Then by the time we fold in 1 inch and half an inch, it returns back to what we have at 5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and measure 7 inches. Height is 7 inches. Width is 3.5 inches. So I'll just adjust this a little. 3.5 inches. Okay, so on this part I'll come up by 1 inch. So we'll be able to create that shape. So from that part, come in by 1 inch and connect. Then we are going to create the pocket shape. So you can see how the pocket is. From here, I'll just create that shape. So I'll go ahead and cut this way. So when we open the pocket, it gives us that shape. So I will use what I have right here to cut the plain fabric. So by the time I stitch the top and hem in this part and tuck in 1/2 inch all around, we go back to what we had at 5 inches. So that's what I'm trying to explain. So now I'm going to take the measurement of what I have for the ruffles. So the ruffles, I'll just go from here, I'll go around whatever I have. Here I have 18 inches. I'll multiply 18 by 3. So I'm going to cut out a long strip of 18 inches times 3. So now I've cut out my 18 times 3 gave me 54. So the length of what I have here is 54 inches and the width of what I have there is 5 inches. So this is what I have. When I fold it, I'll have 2.5. So if you want it bigger, you can make it unfold at 3 inches or 3.5. But I'll use what I have, 2.5, to demonstrate this. So the first thing I'm going to do now, this is my pocket. I'm going to take the measurement from here. From this part, I'll measure I'll measure 5.5. Okay, so this 5.5, I'll just simply go ahead and fold it in this way. So I will encourage you to hem the part of the mouth of this part. Just hem it before you fold in. Can you see? So once you have done that, hemmed, this is what you will have. Then the width of the pocket was 6 inches and I did 7. So make sure it falls at 7. So now I'll go ahead and bring in this. This is what I'm going to do at my machine. I'll fold in this and put it together this way. Then I'm going to sew right side to right side. So this way, just go ahead and sew this way 1/2 inch. So as I'm sewing, I'm making my pleats. So make your pleats as you want till we make our pleats, you know, as you wish, all around it. I'm done stitching the pocket all around. I took it all around and this is what it looks like. So make sure you set the inside before you do what I'm doing. So I'm going to work only on one pocket, okay, because I don't really have the plain fabric for this. I don't really have the plain fabric for this. So just go ahead and cut your plain fabric, same method, and do the same thing I did as well. So I'll just come in now with the right side of this. It's time for us to start the joining. Okay, so we are going to join from here. So you match the neckline up. From that point, we are going to follow the 1/2 inch we made, 1.5 inch, sorry, for the casing of our. So after stitching the neckline, this is what you expected to have. Okay, so assuming I have the plain pocket, I could have stitched it right here where I have the box. So I'll just go ahead and open up my string. I'm going to my case. So the casing now, I'm going to create it, and this is how I'm going to create it. I'll go ahead and fold in. Can you see? I'll fold this 1.5 inch to the end. So if I fold it to the end, I'll be having 0.575. So the 0.75, I'm going to fold down and stitch straight on top of it. I'll just stop stitch straight on top of it to the end. I'll also fold into the end of it. You can see to the end of it, and I'll stitch. This is what I have for my casing at the front, and this is what it looks like at the back. So I'm going to take the measurement of my rope. So simply go ahead and place your tape on the neckline and measure to the length of the dress. So here I have 35 inches. So this 35 inches, I'll multiply it by 2 for my rope. So if I multiply 35 by 2, I have 70. So I've already cut out my piece of rope. So this fabric I cut, the width is 1.5 for each of them. Okay, 1.5 by width. Then the length, at the end of the day, after joining them together, I will join them together, and at the end of the day I'll reduce it to 70 inches. So I'll go to my machine now. I'll quickly fold in this, bring this, just kiss them together, then put them together again. So I'll go ahead and do a stitch on it like this. So let me stitch the row. So I have 2 of it. Okay, so one of it should be above 35. Okay, it can be 50 inches. If 70 times 2 will be too long, you can make it 50 inches in length. So you need 2 because we have 2 casing. So I'll just go ahead and use my safety pin. Now I will have to push it in from the down part of the dress. So I'll come in this way. I will come in from the down part of the dress. I'll start pushing the rope. So I'm going to take it to I get to the neckline. So when I get to the neckline, I'll tell you. So now I've gotten to the neckline. You can see that, and this is what I have on the hemline. So I'll just go ahead and stitch. Okay, I'll just go ahead and stitch. I'll remove my safety pin gently and stitch on top of it. So that is the same thing I'll do right here. Then for this part, please ensure you knot so it does not flip in back to the casing. So I'm going to make double knot to it. That's what I will do, so it does not move back into the casing. So I'll go to the machine now to stitch this part. Done stitching, so you can see I have to stitch to hold on the string. So if you don't want these stitches here, simply stitch it at the hem. Then you have your rope right here. So it's 2 ways. Okay, if you don't want to have your rope show here, in here, you are going to do what? Simply have it stitch here. So but I was supposed to hem this part. Please, that was a mistake I made. Please ensure you hem here first, okay, before you fold in your casing. I believe you understand. So I just made a mistake right now, so I'll just carefully lose this part of the casing right now. I'll just lose it and hem and recase. So that's what I'm going to do now. So at the end of the day, this is what you will have. You just draw to the extent you want. Can you see that? So by the time we are done joining it, you are going to see the effects. So let's proceed with the back. So I'm going to set this front aside and work on the back again. So finally I'll come back to the back. I'm going to stitch the back right now at 1.5 inch. Remember, it was 1.5 inch. So after joining it at 1.5 inch, I'm going to create the facing, giving it a good press. So now we want to create the facing. So to create the facing, I'll simply bring it together again. Okay, at the midpoint, I'll bring my facing, fold your piece of fabric into 2. So I'll just use this part of my fabric, fold it into 2, place it on top. So I'm just trying to get the part that will cover my facing. So once you have folded it, this is the center front. I'm going to place it this way on it to the center front area. So once I place it, then I'm going to cut. So make sure you place it very well. So I'll just push it a little bit and make sure it's at the center front. So I'll just cut out the neckline, cut out the hem. So note that our facing was at 2.5. So I'll take off this and I'm going to mark the 2.5 all around the neckline. So I'll go this way, 2.5. So you can see I'm following taking the 2.5 from the neckline. I'll cut it. Can you see? So that is the facing for us. So I'll bring back the fabric, open up the facing, and then I'll lay this right on top of it this way. So I'll go ahead and stitch and top stitch. This is my neckline. I've given it a good press. I've top stitched and hem. So now the next thing I will do is to place it to the right side, so I'll be able to join the shoulders and then join the sides. So this is it, the front. I'll go ahead and pick up this, match it up to this, use the facing for the front and wrap around it this way. So I'll go back to my machine now, and I'm going to stitch, arrange it and sew at 0.5 to the end. That is how I'll finish up the neckline for this. Then I'll close up the side. I've finished up the sleeve, and I've stitched at 0.5. So I'll just go ahead and place my notch, so I'll be able to turn this area. I'll do the same over there as well. And that is how we'll come to the end of this tutorial, and I believe this class was helpful to you. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again, and see you in the next class. Bye.